Yes, lads, hope all is good. Back with another training video. So, if you got shit delts, you got shit arms, don't worry, sunshine. I've got you covered. So, starting off this workout with some side raises, cable side raises at that. The reason why I love cable side raises is because when I'm doing dumbbells, same with anybody, in my opinion, the forearm takes over quite a lot. So, you see people swinging back and forth. It's very, very difficult to cheat on these, okay? And it's all about putting as much tension as possible through them delts, right? With the dumbbells, one, like I said, it's easy to take, I guess, the momentum to sort of like take over, but it's very, very easy then to feel a lot of the actual weight through your forearms. Whereas this, even whether you don't, even if you use handles on the cable machine, we're using straps here, cuffs, sorry. This obviously just takes it out completely. But even if you just do the cables again, it just allows you to make it much, much smoother, much more controlled movement. Okay. Second exercise we are moving into is the machine shoulder press. So with this one, very, very difficult to get it wrong. One of the key pointers here is what I would say, same on majority of movements, is make sure you're really slowing down that eccentric phase. So from top part of the movement to the bottom, nice 3 to 4 second negative. You want to, like I said, keep the muscle under as much tension as possible for as long as possible all the way through that movement. Okay. And then making sure that, again, we're not leaving any reps in the tank towards the back end of every single set. Next exercise we moved on to was for the rear delts. So again, rear delt cable fly. I can't get my words out. So with this one, very, very easy to get this wrong here and activate the tricep a lot, which we don't want to do. You'll see here how my elbow is slightly bent and it's the same all the way through the entire movement, really, right? So my arm isn't really extending at all. It's not bending anymore. It's literally the same fixed movement all the way through, right? You'll see a lot of people when they do this, again, it's not technically wrong, but again, you want to put all the actual tension through the rear delt, right? So again, when you get to the end part of the movement here, you see James do it slightly. People will come all the way back and then they'll flare the elbows out to lock out that tricep. Again, that's fine if we're working triceps, but we're not. Obviously, we're working rear delts, right? You want to put all that tension all the way through and maximize, or well, say maximize your energy to put it all into growing that rear delt, not the tricep. Because now you'll see, obviously, we're moving on to working the tricep. So cable crossovers, I think these would be called. So I absolutely love these. The squeeze you can get on this is absolutely phenomenal. Nice and slow, bringing it back down to the starting position, and then a big, nice squeeze at the bottom. What I like to do as well is you'll see where, like the I guess the lower part of your hand, really almost like speaking of like mind to muscle, you really want to focus on driving that down towards the floor. And again, big, big squeeze at the bottom, and slightly, if you can, just rotating that wrist out a little bit more just to help obviously activate that tricep. You see James is a lovely horseshoe here. Mine still got some work to be done. But obviously when it comes to arms, like biceps for me will always sort of like take over. But what I would suggest is obviously first starting out as
There
well,
you go.
triceps is 2/3 of the arm, so you want to make sure obviously you're prioritizing your triceps. Okay. So next movement for triceps is, I believe this is called like a tricep machine press. I'm not quite sure. Don't judge me on that. But this, I've not done this before, and it felt unbelievable. So just make sure with this one, again, it's very, very easy for your elbows to flare. You want to keep them as tucked in as possible, just so there's maximum tension through that tricep. Then next, we use the same sheet, same machine, but for preacher girls. So this is, oh, I love this. It feels absolutely unbelievable. Again, nice and slow, controlled on the way down. Again, just make sure on this one that you are fully locking out that elbow at the bottom. Right, I see people doing 3/4 of the movement and selling themselves short. And again, yes, you can obviously lift heavier weight, but throw the ego out the window. Right, again, you want to get that full range of motion coming right to the bottom and then all the way right back up to the top. Okay, massive, massive squeeze at the top. Then for the last, believe the last exercise was dumbbell hammer curls. So again, with this, the reason why we put the bench right up and again leaning back on the bench is because then you're in a fixed position. Right, I see a lot of people do this and they don't put any like back up against the bench. And again, it's very, very easy then to cheat and start swinging. Whereas this, it needs to be very, very strict, very, very regimented. And like I said, keeping your elbows pretty much locked in position all the way through. You can have a slight tilt either side when you're obviously doing this. But again, just making sure it's as strict as possible. So you're getting as much out of the movement as you possibly can. So that's pretty much your lot. Hopefully you've took something from it. Hopefully you can obviously take a couple of exercises, a couple of form tips, and get absolutely wham. See you soon.